How we doing, YouTube? Mark from Like-Minded Lunatics coming at you with another Friday night reaction video. I hope you've had a good week. I've had a good week, but I can't wait to have a beer and watch a really cool video with you. Before we get to that, though, I want to remind everybody, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are 5 people away from hitting that 100 subscriber mark. So if you know anybody who hasn't subscribed, please encourage them to do so. We would very much appreciate your support. Also, I've been getting a lot of comments on the videos. I sure do love to see those. So if you've got any feedback, if you've got anything that you want to ask or that you want to add to the conversation, by all means, leave us some comments. I do love seeing the feedback. All right, so today we've got a great video, an even greater song that we're going to do. We're going to take a look at Faith No More's Midlife Crisis from 1992, the Angel Dust album. Now, there are a lot of reaction videos to Mr. Mike Patton out there, and I think for good reason. In my book, he might be the most proficient rock and roll singer of all time, even surpassing guys like Freddie Mercury and things like that. Don't get me wrong, those guys were amazing singers, but Mike Patton is on a different level altogether. His voice is almost like an electronic music instrument. In fact, just as far as technicality is concerned, he has the broadest range of any rock and roll singer out there. He can sing in 6 complete octaves, which is kind of unheard of. And he's been in a ton of really cool, weird bands. Obviously, he's been at Faith No More, but he was also one of the founding members of Mr. Bungle. He's worked with the band Phantomas. He's done the Peeping Tom project. He was the voice of all the monsters in I Am Legend and the video game series Left 4 Dead. I could talk about Mike Patton all day, but this is a music video reaction, not a Mike Patton reaction. So we're going to get to the video. But before we do, the beer that I'm going to drink today, the beer that we're going to enjoy, or I'm going to enjoy while we watch this together, this is a Bloodwork Orange from Austin Beerworks here in Austin. I love Austin Beerworks, and I would encourage you to support local producers if you possibly can during this time of COVID. And the reason I went with this Bloodwork was because in Faith No More's video Falling to Pieces, they're dressed up like the guys from Clockwork Orange, so I thought it was a little bit thematic, plus it's a good beer. So let's cheers to the end of a great week and hopefully the beginning of an even greater weekend. Cheers, everybody. All right, let's bring up the frame and let's get this party started. Now, one of the things that I love about Mike Patton is the way that he plays with words. Now, the title of this song is Midlife Crisis, but it was actually, the working title was actually Madonna. Patton was around 24 when he wrote this, and he said it wasn't about his midlife crisis because he had no context for one. He was like 24. But he said watching Madonna on TV, he got the impression that she was going through one. And so the working title of this song used to be Madonna. The other thing he said was, don't take anything that I write in songs too seriously. I just like playing with words. And I think we can see that here. I think we can see that in this song. All right, here we go. 1992, Faith No More Midlife Crisis from the Angel Dust album. We've already got that weird kind of almost David Finchery cinematography. Wow. Wow, okay. So the first thing I want to make sure I emphasize is that is not an effect on Mike Patton's voice. That is Mike Patton's voice. And in fact, if you watch live versions of this, it sounds just like the studio version with Mike doing it live. The other thing that I think is really cool is just the way he manipulates words, the way that he manipulates pronouncing words. It's super unique. And the visuals match that kind of machine gun performance that he's doing. Let's go back and watch that again real quick. And here's the words, by the way. Go on and wring my neck like a rag when a rag gets wet. A little discipline for my pet genius. My head is like lettuce. Go on and dig your thumbs in. I cannot stop giving. I'm 30-something. Here we come. Go on and wring my neck. When my rag gets wet. It's a plan for my pet genius. Go on and dig your thumbs in. I'm 30 something. Wow! First off, what a great beginning of a song, and then we segue into that melodious voice of his. And in case you didn't catch it, he's saying midlife crisis there, but he's pronouncing it very weirdly. That's midlife crisis, how he's saying it. I have no idea how he's doing that. Midlife crisis. I have no idea. I can't do it, but I'm not Mike Patton. I love this line. What a cool line! You're perfect, yes, it's true. But without me, you're only you. Did you catch that? You're menstruating heart, so you're bleeding heart. It ain't bleeding enough for two. Okay, what an inheritance, the salt and the Kleenex. So I'm assuming tears, the salt and the Kleenex. Did you catch that? Rent an opinion. It's a great line. And again, I love the visuals of this because I think the visuals and the weird editing kind of match the staccato or machine gun-like lyrics. God, I love his voice. Here it comes. Now, what a weird video. And there's Mike himself. There's Mr. Mike Patton. Again, one of the things that I love about this is that obviously this is the studio version. But if you watch live versions of this, all of this weird up and down motion of his voice, all of these weird changes in his voice that sound like effects off of a board, that's just Mike. That's just Mike singing into the microphone. He's doing all of that in real time, which is amazing to me. Going up and down, changing the cadence, all of that stuff. Now what's happening? Somebody being crucified? This is a totally deep hole, dude. Oh my God, somebody's being drawn and quartered. Do you see that? And they're praying about it? See, this is one of the things I love about Faith No More. I feel like, you know, in academics, we talk about the difference between high and low art in popular culture. And there's a bunch of arguments about what constitutes high and low art. But in my head, something that's high art is something that's rich enough that it lends itself to multiple readings, that it lends itself to multiple interpretations. There's nuances there. So for instance, something like 17 from Winger, there's no nuance. There's Kip Winger who wants to bang a 17-year-old. That's a low art. Not to say I don't like it. I do like the song. It's a creepy song, but I do like it. But it's low art. There's no depth to it. But something like Faith No More, with the lyrics and with the visual imagery, I think that it lends itself to multiple interpretations. And is this avant-garde? Is that how we would classify this? Or is this surrealist? I have no idea. Postmodern? I don't even know if Mike knows. But what? It's a midlife crisis, and someone's being drawn and quartered. Is that supposed to represent how a person might feel during a midlife crisis? And then somebody laying under a crucifix? And again, hopefully you can hear it. It's a midlife crisis. That's all Mike doing that. Good God, that man can sing. Menstruating hot. Man, that's a good line. Now that's a mic power stance. That's a mic power stance. You know, some singers, they've got their catchphrases like Hetfield is hey, like that whole thing. Sammy Hagar has the hey. He's got that. Mike Patton has power stances. Watch him live, and he's got these stances where he gets real low, and it's almost like a long Shaolin kung fu stance. It's really cool. But look at him. He's just kind of, it's like he's powering up. I think kind of like a Power Ranger. Watch him. Look at it. He's powering up. I'm not sure what's going on with Mike laying on the ground in the video, too. He's laying there and looking up. Oddly enough, this happens in the Falling to Pieces video. I wonder if there's a connection between that. I don't know. I should have done some research. Now, if their guitarist is familiar to you, it's because he's in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Good Lord, Mike. He just fell right down. Damn. Is he doing his own stunts? It's like Bonnie Tyler. Well, that's a cool shot, isn't it? And man, that just looks like the beginning of the 90s, doesn't it? With all those weird colors. It's kind of like, you remember the Garbage video? The Garbage video kind of this reminds me of the Garbage video that would come a couple of years later. Wow. And then we've got, kind of reminds me there of the video of Outshined by Soundgarden. The way that shot looks like Outshine to me. Outshine. What the hell is that? Does anybody know what the hell that is? Is that a flying warthog? Is that a warthog with wings? I'm very confused by the maintenance. Is that a maintenance man? Jesus Christ, I'm very confused. I'm going to be honest with you folks. I hadn't seen this video. I watched it, I think, like once this week. I was like, you know what I'm going to do this week? I'm going to do Midlife Crisis. I love that song. So I think I watched it once this week, and that's it. It's very confusing to me. There's so much going on with the weird cinematography, those filters over the camera, and then Mike laying on the ground, and all of a sudden he's doing his power stance, and then he falls down, and then there's crucifixes, and some dude's getting drawn and quartered. I feel like it means something. But I don't know what it is. Huh. Well, what a great video. I would encourage you to go and watch all of Faith No More's videos. In fact, we may do a Peeping Tom video. Peeping Tom was another band that Mike did. Amazing band. Amazing. Huh. Wow. Well, I'm just blown away by that. And by this beer, by the way. If you've got a chance, swing by Austin Beerworks if you're in the ATX area. Pick up some of this Bloodwork Orange. It's a good beer. All right, folks. Hope that was fun. Hope that was a good video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me some comments. Hit the like button on that. And again, hit the subscribe. We're like 5 people away from getting that 100 mark. And boy, that would make my weekend. If we hit 100 people this weekend, 100 people? I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot for us. So hit that subscribe button. Let your friends know that this channel is doing some stuff that you find entertaining. That would help us out as well. All right, folks, take care of each other. Be safe, and we'll see you soon.